All right, here we go. All right, on today's, wow, I almost said the wrong, almost said the wrong podcast. On today's podcast, I welcome on Coach Murphy. He's the offensive coordinator of the URI Rams. Coach, how are you today?
Doing great, Jeff. Doing great. Thanks for having me.
No, of course, no problem. Thank you for coming on the show and making time for me and the podcast. Coach, first off, I want to ask, how are you holding up during these Corona times and all this stuff going on?
It's obviously different for everybody. It's a unique time, and we're doing the best we can. I have the coach's curse. I have 3 daughters, so being the only male in the house at times can be trying. So I actually wound up getting a dog. It had been 2 years since our last guy passed away, and so I actually got another male in the house in mid-May to try to alleviate some of that stress. So we're doing all right. He and I are taking a lot of long walks.
There you go. That's the best way to do it. Get out of the house a little bit. Are your daughters like football fans by any chance? Like,
they're huge sports fans. All 3 of them. They are and this is a very positive term. They are ferocious young ladies. They are extremely competitive. They grew up in a very competitive family. Myself, my wife was a very good athlete, and then my brother was a Division I athlete as well. My sister-in-law was a Division II basketball player who was a very good player at the University of New Haven.
Wow.
My sister played basketball and volleyball in college. She also wound up coaching volleyball for some time in college as well. So they really didn't have a choice. So, but they're basically basketball, soccer year round. And then the youngest also runs track, made the nationals as a 7th grader a year ago. So.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. So you got an athletic family.
Yeah, so they keep us busy, and but yeah, they are very, very active at football games, and they enjoy it.
That's awesome. Are they? Is the family competitive with each other?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter what it is. Board games, horse, tiddlywinks. It really doesn't matter. Nobody takes it easy on anybody, and that's just the way it's been since they were little. So.
Oh my God, that's crazy. That's awesome though that you have that, and you have that sports family, that competitiveness, and you being a sports guy yourself. I want to ask you, Coach, like, how did you get into football?
As a player, I was actually a heavier set kid growing up, so it took me a little bit longer to make weight in Pop Warner, believe it or not, and. I was a baseball player, and actually my best sport was probably baseball at the time, through high school, up until high school. But I just loved the physicality, the contact. I could hit people without getting in trouble. And I was a fullback linebacker, and I enjoyed that part of it. And I knew my sophomore year in high school, I was on running back on defense, and on a fast break coming at me, and all I wanted to do was drill the guy with the ball. And I was like, oh well, let's focus more on this than basketball. There wasn't going to be much call for a 5'11", forward, at college level. So
that's awesome. And like, what was your recruiting process like, and how did you decide on going to Northeastern?
It was fairly unique. So I come from a very small town, Air High School, at the time, in Central Mass, and we weren't very heavily recruited, even though we were state title finalists my junior and senior year. Had some D2, had some D3 schools take a look, and then I went to Bridgeton Academy, which is a prep school, and it's a 1-year preparatory school in Bridgeton, Maine. And wound up being a captain there, and played for a guy, Rick Marcella, who is still the head coach there. Has been a huge impact on my life. And we were able to play, Division I, Division II, and Division III schools when I was there.
Yeah.
So it was fairly easy, to find where did I fit. And a guy named Mike Borich, who was the receiver coach for Coach Barry Gallup, who was my head coach at Northeastern, came to Bridgeton for a recruiting, trip. And the previous staff had recruited me as well. But I liked Coach Boric quite a bit. We hit it off. He wound up going on to coach with the Bears, coach as the OC at BYU, and it was a pretty cool deal. But that's how I wound up there was Northeastern compared to being in Boston on Huntington Ave compared to Air. You've heard of one stoplight, one red light towns. We don't have a red light, so we have one blinking yellow light in Air and Shirley combined. That's as busy as it gets. So I enjoyed being in Boston, being in the city. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's got to be a whole different experience from being in such a small town. But
yeah, no, there's no question. I mean, I walked into my first class, and there was twice as many people in that first class than I had in my entire graduating class. So it was a different deal.
Oh my God, that's crazy. And when you got to Northeastern, you played 3 different positions.
It was actually more than that.
Really?
Yeah. So what I equate people, when people ask me about playing at Northeastern, I was a jack of all trades, master of none. I was like, if you were in a leaky boat and you had chewing gum, you stick the chewing gum in the leak until something better comes along.
Yeah.
That was me. I was a tough kid. I was physical, and I was relatively bright, at least for playing the game goes.
Yeah.
So anytime there was an issue with a position, I went there originally as a running back, played fullback. Eventually they moved me to tight end. We were a run and shoot team after my first year. We went from pro style to run and shoot. They didn't have tight ends. Then they felt that they needed a tight end in short yardage goal line situations. I had never played tight end before. They played me at tight end. And then I took snaps at linebacker. I took snaps at center. I took snaps at in practice at center, and same thing at D tackle. So, I practiced everywhere. And like I said, if they needed me, I was the chewing gum that could get them through whatever part of the game we were in.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You played every position there was on the field. And what's that experience like? Just like being able to, bring that into the coaching experience as well.
Yeah. I mean, I played a different position every semester in college. I also had a different position coach every semester in college.
Oh man.
So I was able to see from firsthand experience the different coaching styles. Was able to pick up. I've always been able to pick up the game fairly quickly. So I think it helped me as a coach. I think it really did. It helped me understand putting the team first. It helped me understand what it takes to study. When you get a crash course and you get told on Thursday, hey, we need you to play tight end. And then you have to get with the offensive tackles, go through that whole deal, get with the receivers coach, go through all the pass game. And we had some exceptional coaches. I mentioned Mike Boric, who unfortunately has passed away a couple of years now. But we had Barry Gallup, who's the assistant AD at Boston College, who was our head coach. Tom Lamb, who is a legend in Massachusetts, most famous probably for coaching the Flutie brothers at Natick High School. A guy named Jim Turner, who's been a great mentor to me over the years, who is currently the Bengals offensive line coach.
Wow.
Doug Marone, I don't know if he's any relation to you, but
I wish.
Doug Marone was our offensive line coach for a year. A guy named Joe Philbin, who was a former Dolphins head coach.
Wow.
Joe Gilbert, who was the offensive line coach down at the Tampa Bay Bucks. On and on and on and on and on. Bob Shoup, who's coached at Penn State, was most recently defense coordinator at Mississippi State. Bruce Tall, who was a defense coordinator when I was there. So, I mean, Coach Gallup brought in an amazing array of assistant coaches, and having been exposed to them, I like to think some of that rubbed off on me.
That's awesome. That's cool that you like know all these guys and that array of all those guys that you just mentioned. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not related to Doug Marone. Just missing one ball on that one.
No.
Could wish I was to call him up. But what was your decision to get into coaching, and and what's that transition like?
Yeah, it was really supposed to be 1 year, and then I was either going to go law enforcement or go to law school. It was supposed to be 1 year, and I remind her of this daily. My current girlfriend at the time, came to a spring practice after that first season, and her and her best friend watched the practice, and then afterwards she was like, and I always remind her of this when she complains about the hours. You love doing this. You're really good at it. You should forget about anything else and just do this.
Wow.
So, and then because I tell people, I've never worked a day in my life. I mean, it's, I get paid now to do what I used to get in trouble in class doing, which is drawing X's and O's and talking football. So it's awesome.
That's that's awesome that you could do what you love, and it's such an amazing job, and you have that passion and was able to carry forward with it. And then especially for your now wife and girlfriend at the time to support it and be like this and noticing that's also really cool.
No question.
Yeah. But what, with all the experiences and where have you worked in the past, you were at Bryant, Harvard, and Holy Cross, what, and worked for all these different coaches. How do you bring that into your own coaching philosophy, working under different guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's part of it. You pick up pieces as you go.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing is to be yourself. And, you form your own philosophies, you form your own ideologies, and those things change during the course of your career. So it's really about the more you learn, the better you become. And you're always taking and you're always borrowing pieces, as you go. I mean, working with Jay Savetti at Tufts was awesome. He's got an entirely different approach than Tim Murphy at Harvard. Jim Fleming in the 6 months I've been here has been lights out. I mean, yeah. he really, from a football perspective, from a personal perspective, is as good as it gets that I've been around in 25 years of coaching. He's been awesome. So I'm really happy, about being here and seeing if we can get this thing going and put some rings on some people's fingers.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be great. It would be awesome to get URI football, on the map, and people attend, making URI sports big between the basketball and the football be amazing. And what has your time been like being a part of the URI team?
Obviously it's been a little bit different than normal with the current situation. But again, you win with people. You win with a good coaching staff, and I think Coach Fleming has assembled one, and there's quite a bit of new blood in the staff now. Really enjoying that. I think the guys that have been here, I'm the offensive guys, obviously I'm spending more time with them, but Stephon Wheeler, Donovan Varner, Mike Flanagan. Michael played for me in college, so I've known him since he was a 17-year-old kid. They're doing an unbelievable job. I mean, they're very, very good coaches. And so is the defensive staff, but it's been a lot of fun, and we're excited about it. And then the players have, they're hungry. They want structure. They want discipline. They want to be good. So we're going to give them the direction, and they're doing everything we've asked them to do. So now, I'm looking forward to getting them out on the field at some point and, seeing what they can do.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really cool. Is there anything now that's going on with Corona, that you guys are doing? I don't know if you can answer this, but is there anything that you guys are doing that you're kind of keeping contact with the team, that you guys are doing Zoom meetings or kind of
Yeah.
OTA?
Yeah. So, I mean, since we were sent home, both sides of the ball, it's been pretty active Zoom meetings, whether it be individual with me with the quarterbacks, or side of ball with the entire offense, or just the skill or just the offensive line. So the entire staff's been very, very active with that. Just recently gave them a pretty decent break. But it's been pretty active. We've got to obviously stay within all of the NCAA regulations and rules, which we've been doing. So we're all itchy to get out and do it, live and in person. So
yeah, I know it'd be great. I mean, like, hopefully this thing eventually passes and there's some kind of cure, and then we can get back to normal life and like back to sports and watch our football and our basketball. But like, what are your thoughts about like the vision and pushing the games back to like fall and stuff?
You mean pushing them back to the spring?
Yeah, spring. Yeah. Sorry. Jeez.
Yeah. No problem. I mean, I think it is what it is.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a person in the profession that would say that they don't want to play right now.
Yeah.
But it makes sense. It seems like every time you turn on the TV, there's something new that they're finding out about, the virus. So I think it's better safe than sorry. And it's not canceled; it's postponed. So we're postponing it. It's going to be a little bit different deal for everybody. Come January, February of 21. But we'll control what we can control and make the most of it. And we've got to maximize our time now until that season starts. To make ourselves better and really improve. And that's how we're approaching it with the players is, hey, this is time that we need to take advantage of. Obviously brand new offense coordinator, brand new defensive coordinator. So there's a lot of pieces to put together as far as the puzzle goes. So we need to make sure we can't waste the day. That's
true. That's really, is there like any event, do you, like I said, if you can't answer it, I understand with the, like, I know about like college rules, but like, are there any advantages, do you think, to like advantages and disadvantages to like the season being pushed back until, the spring? Or
yeah, I don't know about advantages. I'm viewing it purely from a, the big picture standpoint as far as safety and all that. No one wants to be, the program or the school to have anyone get seriously affected by that.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm really looking at it as. Not having spring ball, not being able to, install the offense. I think pushing it back definitely helps us now.
Yeah.
From that standpoint, as long as we can get out on the field this fall and get some practices in.
All right. Cool. That's really cool. Yeah. Hopefully, it works out for you guys. You guys can take full advantages, and like we'll see. Hopefully, URI football will be back on the map with you and Coach Fleming at the helm, and
that's the goal.
Let's see what happens. But I gotta ask you. I got two more questions, and then we'll wrap it up. First off, how does it feel to have a couple of your own players get drafted into the NFL?
Yeah, I mean it's a little bit different, than not my guys, because I never coached them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I didn't. I came in after they had finished up.
Yeah.
So I got on board here in officially in January.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So those weren't my guys, but I'm very happy for them. Obviously using that in recruiting, as far as being able to tell people, hey, we had a 5th round draft pick who was an underclassman. We had 3 other guys sign pro contracts. 2, the right tackle signed with Canada, the left tackle with the Giants, and then obviously Parker with the Cowboys. So I don't know those guys, but from a program's perspective, being able to say that, I think is a great selling point as far as the school and the program itself.
That's awesome. That's really cool. And are you a Patriots fan, or what was your favorite football team?
Come on, dude. Come on. Patriots, Celtics, Red Sox, let's go.
I love it. I love it. I love it. What do you think about Cam Newton? What do you think about him?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a typical Bill Belichick move. Low risk, high reward. 1-year deal. If he starts to play like the MVP version of Cam Newton, then, I would expect before the end of the season to have an extension in place and we're off and running. If he struggles and, Stidham, is in the mix, then, well, it's one and done for Cam and away we go.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a Bill Belichick move. I think it's gotten some people excited. I don't know if you saw on Twitter, you got him and Edelman out there working out on clips of that on Twitter, and everyone's going crazy. So yeah. it'll be interesting to see. So, but yeah, Pat's all the way. But be honestly, I'm still going to root for Brady and Gronk down in Tampa Bay, as long as it doesn't affect us at all.
Yeah, exactly. Well, now if they met in the Super Bowl, what do you do?
Oh, no, there's no question. It's Patriots all the way.
Yeah,
let's get number 7.
I love it, Coach. Well, thank you for your time. Thank you for making time for me and coming on my podcast. It means a lot to me. And, I'm glad that we could do this. Hopefully I can catch a game when, football starts getting back and see you at the URI games.
Absolutely. I appreciate it, Jeff. Thanks for having me.
All right, Coach. Have a good one.
You too.
Thank you.